Good afternoon, everybody. This is Fago Franklin III with Newsstitched Media. Today, I am joined by Nafeesah Hope, who is the ESPN celebrity makeup artist and entrepreneur. How you doing today?
All is well. Hi, everybody. All is well. Super excited to be on this podcast.
And I thank you for joining me. But before we get into your journey a little bit, could you give my viewers some words of encouragement for today?
Absolutely. I think you must catch the wind and go. Whatever fuels your fire and whatever makes you feel alive, as if you're putting the most passion and energy into it, go for it. Because sometimes the scariest things have the best outcomes.
Hey, man, thank you for those words of encouragement. So, Nafeesah, first and foremost, where did you get your name from? It's a unique name. Does it mean anything?
It does. That's a really good question. For as long as I've been here on this place we call planet Earth, without sounding all weird. But as long as I've been alive, people would always kind of mix up my name, just say it a little different. And I have two variations of it. So my dad says Nafeesah, my auntie says Nafeesah, my mom says Nafeesah. So it's real interesting how it can be interchangeable, but it's spelled Nafeesah, and then it's an Arabic name, and it means precious, exquisite. It means to be chosen. Like if you were to look for a diamond, then you may want to look for a Nafeesah cut, because that's like the perfect cut. And my mother and father, they came up with that name. They found it in a book of Muslim names. And there is a person that's a dear friend of ours that was also included in, saying that it was a good name to try out. And here I am Nafeesah. So I'm carrying a name that has been around for a while, but it could be just unique to the United States, perhaps.
Oh, lovely. So tell me a little bit about your journey with being, a makeup artist, first and foremost.
Sure thing. It's always so easy to talk about yourself, And I was so excited just to share my perspective as a makeup artist with you, that I was trying to think of things to remember to say to you. And one of the best ways that I could start off with referencing how I started is just starting in at the right place at the right time. So I had no idea I was going to start off doing makeup at all. I had no idea that was going to be part of my journey as I, started to get into the workforce. And for whatever reason, I knew that I was an artist to begin with. So I can sketch and draw and paint and use all types of mediums. And at one point I said, I'm going to apply myself to a bookstore. And within a bookstore, it's called Yale Barnes & Noble Bookstore in New Haven, Connecticut. They open up a Clinique counter. So that's just this makeup counter. And from there, the rest is history. I said, I'm going to, start off one way and then get my foot in the door. And that's exactly what I did. I wound up finding a way to work with makeup.
So how did you get intertwined with ESPN?
Well, that was a cold call. I straight up cold call. And before that, I had like this dream. I woke up and I took one of my brothers with me. I was about 19 or 20 years old. And I was like, come with me. I'll take let's take a trip up to Bristol, Connecticut. And the 40-minute drive seemed extremely long from New Haven at the time. But I said, I'm going to bring my resume and my cover letter up there in hopes that, I can meet with someone, right? I got to the security guard gate and they're like, no, this is awesome that you're doing this, but you must know someone in there. I had no idea. Nobody, no idea who I can call or, any name that I can drop at the time. I did a couple of celebrities prior to that, but there wasn't anybody that I knew per se that could put me there inside of ESPN. So one of my little brothers and I just took the trip back home and we talked about it. And I knew then in my heart of hearts that I was going to eventually work in there, but didn't know how. It was like this I don't know, overwhelming feeling that I know something good will happen. And years later, and I'm talking about 6 years later, I was working in a retail counter, and I said, I'm going to finish up school, get my degree, and then from there, I'll just, apply myself in different areas, right? And I had a phone call with my mom, and she suggested to send my resume and cover letter there. And instead of doing that, I said, I'll cold call. Cold call someone. It was a secretary who was kind of just asking lots of questions, being a little nosy, if anything. She might as well have asked for my social security number. We're friends now. I mean, really, and that's how we can joke now. Yeah. But at the end of the day, she asked these really interesting questions, like why was I trying to get in? And I was telling her, I just want an internship. I don't necessarily want to work in makeup. I want to put my foot in the door. And she heard me, and she gave me a name and a number. And from there, I, started to talk with someone else, Kat Pierce, who actually was the hiring manager. And she allowed me to go on to the campus and be part of her team. And then the rest was history. That's a long way of describing.
Was you nervous? Was you scared?
Yeah, just because it's a big name. ESPN is attached to Disney. So you don't want to, bring something that can just create a reputation that isn't as, what's the word I'm looking for, as pristine. They just do everything so nice. I didn't want to go there and just be some girl who felt like, this place was bigger than her. And I know I belonged there, if that makes sense. But I didn't know how I was going to navigate myself in a place where there's just so many opinions about how wonderful it is, So I just need to come correct. And then when I was doing that, I think I may have sounded arrogant, like I know what I'm doing when I finally got in there. But it was so awesome because it's just a family. It's just a family of people who have similar goals and they want the job done. It's a well-oiled machine, and everybody has a way to shine there. And it's so special working at a place like that.
What advice can you give not just people that's actually trying to break into like ESPN, but other people that's going out for their dreams about taking a leap of faith? What advice can you give those individuals?
That's a real good question. I think you have to bet on yourself. You always have to believe the most about what you're doing. And sometimes it's hard to not have it, be unwavered. Because when people want to put in their ideas and their perceptions, sometimes it can be easy to be swayed, and say maybe I'm not on the right track or whatever. But usually if you follow your gut, I think that 9 times out of 10, it works out very well for you. And everything, a wise woman, my mom, she's the wisest woman on earth, like everything happens for you, not against you, not to you. It happens for you. So if there's anything that I can share, with a way of changing the mentality with things that may be really hard and meeting adversity, just always think like there's definitely some kind of brighter side within all of that, and something is working in your favor, working for your favor.
What inspiring words can you give women about like maintaining their self-confidence within themselves and not getting insecure, especially with being in this field?
You have the best questions. I'm not just saying that.
Oh, I thank you. You got to think outside the box.
This is awesome. So I think being a female, we have a lot of different, what's the word I'm looking for? Different types of things that we may have to carry on our shoulders. And of course, males do too. I am not being a feminist or anything, but I'm just saying that sometimes we do have to look at things a little differently. And the best way for a female to feel good about herself is to know that the way that she was created is actually perfect, and that your highest means of self-expression is how you want to present yourself to the world, right? So if you want to just talk more about fashion, and that's your passion, I think start off with putting more energy into that, and then you become what you want to become. or if you want to be a makeup artist, a hairstylist, a sports journalist, the people that make things happen, the people that make, sometimes the people behind the scenes make big bucks before the people in the forefront, but if you want to do stuff that's going to empower other people, I think that's when things really work out to your advantage as well, because now the intention is something that's really good. So you're starting off from a place where you want to feel good for not only yourself, but in the midst of working with people, then, it's like a ripple effect. I hope that answers the question.
Oh no, you did. Now I'm going to ask you more so on the mental health aspect. What does it mean to see? What does it mean to you to see other athletes, celebrities, and people in the media field talking about self-health, more so of the positive energy, also just making sure that their mental health is in check? What does it mean to you to actually hear that now?
That's fantastic, because one of my pet peeves is the word crazy. I don't use that word, or I try my best not to, and that's because a lot of people tend to use that word so loosely that there's something attached to that they forget about. And that is how some people have their own fleeting thoughts throughout the day. And it may not make sense to other people, but it makes clear sense to them, right? So who are we to judge to say that the way that they're thinking is absolutely wrong? And when you're calling someone crazy, then it actually puts more of that some kind of it does something with warping self-imagery, I suppose, or their concept of self-identity, and therefore they may not be the best personality that they could be, living in their best personal world, because there's like this insecurity because of how they feel or how they're thinking. And I think that's unfair. I think that we must treat people the way that we want to be treated. I truly do. The old school golden rule, I think, goes a long way.
So tell me a little bit about, because I know you're an entrepreneur. So tell me a little bit about your company and what inspired you to become, to do your own little thing.
Thank you. Well, I found that it's always easier to do what's best for you if people aren't on board. So keep moving. If it makes sense, do not let it be unwavering. And that's how I actually started my small business. It started off as one way to just bring in makeup artists and or hairstylists that would like to put their foot in the door, like what I was doing. So that's how I was trying to give back. I was thinking, like, those who I choose to be on my team is basically because I see the fire, the drive in them that I saw in myself, where you don't want to hurt people on a way. You just want to do what you feel is, good to make other people feel good, which is, transforming them in so many ways. And I started my small business to just help with other people who had similar dreams to start their own business. So there's nothing wrong with that. I encourage it. I encourage them to, learn from the best and then apply that information to something that could drive them and create a legacy for themselves and their family as well. So Happy Dollhouse Production is basically a small production house that caters to advertising and marketing along with hair and makeup. So I'm doing something that I hope will one day allow me to work closely with film and television as well, so that I can have my, my girls do some fun stuff.
So since you said about film, did you watch Cruella?
No, I heard about it.
Oh my gosh, you should watch that. The fashion is exquisite. The makeup is just well done, and I think you would definitely enjoy that. You gotta watch that.
I will. I think anything that Disney put their hands on, it becomes magic. And when I say that, that's just like the best way to say, like, some beautiful things just like arise from, people that want to just achieve the same goal. So that's wonderful. I saw many of the trailers, but I haven't seen them.
You should definitely look at it. It's very good. My other question is, what did you learn about yourself during the pandemic? Because I know everybody had to adapt and adjust to the new norm. So how did you overcome obstacles? Did you have any type of depressions or anything of that nature? And how did you overcome that?
Those are great questions again. It was tough. It was a global pause that allowed me to reflect about the things that I want, the things that I do not want in my life, and how can I, keep pressing forward, because it's so easy. This global pause really did affect everybody in some kind of way, in some magnitude. And it's a sensitive topic because at one point, I didn't know how I was going to sustain some of the income that was just allowing my lifestyle to be, a little bit more freer. And, and that's no fun when you want to cut a corner or something, And that took a toll on me. And then I said to myself, no, I can't stop here. I got to figure out another way to, keep my name in the business. And so I took advantage of Zoom. I found out Zoom was a tool during the pandemic. I never even heard of Zoom. Just like this app, what is it called? The StreamYard. So now I'm being introduced to something else that's just as phenomenal for whatever reason. And I use Zoom as a tool. I'm a slash business consultant. So it sounds like there's a lot of hats that I'm wearing, because there are, but they're all kind of cohesive because I'm a creator at the end of the day.
What does it mean to you to actually see more stories of African Americans being told with bigger platforms like ESPN, NFL Films, NBC? What does it mean for you to actually see representation and our stories actually being told in that type of limelight?
It's awesome, because I'm a proud representation of the African Black diaspora narrative. So with me, walking into a room, I know that without, sounding kind of funny or whatever, but I know that I'm highly visible, if that makes sense, in the best of ways. So I feel like I'm there and I need to be there for whatever reason. And I think whenever we see more of ourselves, it gives you a different type of confidence. It gives you this boost that that you're selected because of X, Y, and Z. It doesn't necessarily always have to be about color or the outside of you, because there's so much more qualities that that can be used for whatever reason. So I hope that, helps other people look at how wherever you are is where you are supposed to be. It doesn't matter about color. Sometimes it's not about color. Sometimes it's classism. Sometimes, there's people have all types of reasons to be biased and prejudiced, right? So that's why if you take that out of your mentality, wherever you are, wherever you're going, then you know that it's going to work out for you, and nothing else exists.
How has your faith molded you into the woman that you are today?
That's a great question, because it's about finding divinity. If you find divinity, you can find yourself. Therefore, you're able to help other people, because you're not looking at just an outside version of somebody. You're looking at the totality and how we're all some kind of way connected. And when you look at it in that way, then things work for you. So if we're all connected some kind of way and you want something to happen, well, if we're connected, then that's how things are rolling into that type of fruition.
What are your key values with being a successful entrepreneur?
I think you have to show up, because if you're saying that you're interested in doing something and you're not being vocal about it, then nobody reads minds. You have to figure out a way to, create opportunities for yourself as well if you don't see something. And within that, if somebody give you a time and a date, show up, be on time. It makes a world of a difference. Now, I'm not saying I'm a goody two shows and I'm sleeping in my car right before, an interview. And I know people that will, but it's always good to be early. The early bird can catch the worm. I know there's always a way to, combat that analogy, but there's many ways to look at the brighter side and to always just take initiative.
What is your favorite memory with working with ESPN, or either, doing makeup for a certain celebrity?
Oh, wow, that's a good one too. That's a fun question. I think I had built so many fond memories, because each person is so different and, special and bringing their own thing. But I think the Sports Center crew, First Take crew, Mike and Mike in the morning. These were all some of my favorite shows to work on because of the personalities that were on there. But I came across so many different people that they molded my day into something different each and every day. So I think with all of the personalities that are there, I don't necessarily have a favorite. And if I was to say that, it's like having children, you don't tell your children out of like 10 kids. So like, I can't tell, so-and-so, that's unfair. I'm being silly. But like everybody holds a special place in my heart because it helped mold me into who I am today, undoubtedly, which is someone who appreciates how there's a lot of time crunch and a lot of things that happen before you have to go on air that needs to be respected. And you can just get kind of lost on the side if you're not structured, if you don't have any kind of format before you go on air, and then you don't want people to rattle you before that either. So I've learned little things. And I think I credit everybody along the way for just being part of my journey.
What tips or advice can you give people about marketing themselves on social media platforms?
I think if you're as colorful as your personality is, I think it can work for you. And I'm not one of those trendsetters who have like millions of followers and stuff like that. But what I've learned is that those who do like rock with me, if you're interested in what I'm doing, it's because I'm giving something a little brighter than what you see on a norm, which could be some of the sadness that's going on, the reality of things. It's really tough to want to just feel really somber or I don't know which word I want to use right now, but I just want to be the opposite of it. So it's my truth. Don't get me wrong. My happiness is my happiness because I'm making, the lemonade out of the lemons. So I'm making myself feel good. So therefore, if I, touch someone else, then it's an automatic, rub off or what have you. So at the end of the day, I think if you bring color into advertising and marketing, if you bring in just realness, just be as truthful, have the best intentions with whatever you're going to do, it will get into the right hand because there will be someone who's just as interested in what you're doing and on the same wavelength of thought.
So what does a regular day look like for you each and every day?
Well, right now, I find that with business consulting on Zoom, it's easier for me to show how to apply makeup with my own small tool set and the person on the opposite end. And I think I'm just having more fun with learning through trial and error what works best for my small business in that way, so that I can continue it on, until this pandemic, slow down even more, and really keep my name, just moving around, because that's also important. There's a reason why some people like to make a new movie or a new song or what have you, because it's all in their, it's innate. They can't not create, right? So it's easier for them to want to just pull out something out of the hat so that others could still know that they are still in love with their craft. And that's all that I'm kind of doing too, saying like, hey, I'm still here. I still love what I'm doing. And just because, the world is kind of getting slow or is slow at times, I'm still doing something to help others.
And my last question for you is, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, as well as your company?
I would love to do production. I would love to have like a reality show of some sort. Now, there's been many times when people would go into my small room where I did the makeup, and sometimes just loose hair. There were many girls that worked there as well. But when I personally did it, I looked at it as a small segment or a beginning of a show for preparation, because a lot of people would sit down and would get loosened up before they go on to the show to talk. And that's how I know how vital the hair and makeup department is in general, and the people that make things happen, because I'm not doing it by myself. So when I am encountering someone, I want them to know that you're going to look your best, you're going to feel your best, and then it loosens them up. Like right before, you go into a football the football, not court, what is it called? The football field.
The stadium?
Yeah, like before you go in, the football players, they have to get pumped up, and that's where I came in the beginning, before people go and do what they do best. Yeah, so I think it's vital to have people on your team who know that there's a time and a place to talk and, be sensitive about something before people go on air.
And a bonus question. Do you have any books that you read up on to actually kind of inspire your creativity?
I love watching like random things right now. I watch Happy Film, Tyke Grant. He's the owner of like this wonderful production about being Black in United States and the African like narrative. Again, I'm trying to find another word, but I'll say that for now. But at the end of the day, like I like things that empower my mind. I want to learn more about me. I want to learn more about the people that, walk around this planet. And I want to know how I can do better as a productive citizen. So I'm learning things like that with economics and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would give you one recommendation. You should read President Obama's book, The Land of the Brave.
No, I haven't. So is this a recommendation?
It's super good. It's super good. It's very inspiring, and you get to see like more so of the side of President Obama, the human being, instead of seeing the President Obama as like the president.
Yes.
It's relatable. Yeah, it's relatable. Especially people that are 30, 40s, just trying to figure out life and trying to get towards that next dream. Like, it's very inspiring. So, I give you that recommendation.
Absolutely, I will. There's a book called They Came Before Columbus by, I think, Ivan Van Sertima. I hope that's the right person. And there's what is his name? Dr. Runoko Rashidi has a book. Unless it was his, oh my gosh. You know what? You may want to edit it there. Because I can't remember.
I got you. I got your number. So we're going to definitely talk about that book, because that seems pretty interesting. Something that I could definitely relate to and read. So I would definitely contact you about that book, though.
Yes,
but before I let you go, where can my viewers actually find some of your works at?
Absolutely. I have my own website. It's called www.ctmakeupartist.com. That's CTMAKEU.
You forgot for a second. I'm not going to put that over your head. It's been a long day.
Well, ctmakeupartist.com. You can find me on all social media platforms. I like to use LinkedIn the most, to be honest with you. So I use the Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. But you can definitely find me on LinkedIn, definitely, because it's about business, and that's a different way of networking.
Amen to that. Thank you for joining me again. We will definitely stay in touch. Everybody, you can definitely follow me on my social media platforms, which is Instagram, Superjournalist87. You can follow me on Facebook, Fago Franklin III. You can follow me on LinkedIn, which is Fago Franklin III. Or you can click that Google search engine, put in Fago Franklin III, and all the interviews with your favorite celebrities, athletes, as well as people in the media field will be up there. Thank you again for joining me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Fago. This was Fuego. It's fire.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know.
Be very well. Bye, everybody.